Who's the real second greatest rivalry in modern football? The one that actually makes you hold your breath every time either of them gets the ball. Not Messi versus Ronaldo. That throne is sacred. I'm talking Kylian Mbappe versus Erling Haaland. Two different beasts, two different value systems, and a rivalry that already feels electric. Cristiano and Lionel sit where they do because their careers rewired football. Ballon d'Ors, trophies, eras of domination. That's fact, not feeling. Lionel has a record haul of Ballon d'Ors, and Cristiano isn't far behind. Their place at the top is untouchable. Now look, Haaland is the machine everyone's papers and stat screens drool over. In 2022-23, he put up numbers that bent belief. 52 goals across all competitions in his debut Man City season, plus a Premier League season that reset the single-season scoring standard. Those totals aren't hype. They rewrote what we thought a center forward could do in modern football. If you love repeatable, clinical finishing and absurd efficiency, Haaland is your textbook. Mbappe is the other language of greatness, speed, artistry, and an almost theatrical talent for turning the highest pressure nights into personal highlight reels. He won the Golden Boot at the 2022 World Cup and scored a hat-trick in the final. Moments that don't just pad stats, they build mythology. That big match player label sticks because Mbappe shows up when the world is watching and the margins are microscopic. Here's the delicious tension. Haaland gives you volume and reliability, goals at a rate almost too steady to enjoy, while Mbappe gives you moments that feel historic. One is a clinical striker who makes the numbers scream. The other is a narrative maker who turns pressure into poetry. Both are rare. Both are already carving legacies that will make future debates messy, beautiful, and divided. If you like these deep but quick football takes and want ammo to win bar debates, subscribe to Soccer Sups. We do weekly deep dives, stat breakdowns, and cinematic recaps that make sense of freak performances and clutch nights. Hit subscribe and the bell. If you love football arguments that actually teach you something, this channel is built for that. Back to the debate. Let's be concrete. Haaland's movement, timing, and pure finishing mean he's the kind of striker who makes teams change how they defend across 90 minutes. He's not just scoring, he's forcing tactical revolutions. Watch how defenders shift when he's in the box, positional angles open like a chessboard, and you'll see why coaches study him. On the stat sheet, he's borderline unfair. Continental records, one-season tallies, and Champions League domination that keeps climbing. Mbappe's case is emotional, but evidence-backed. From a World Cup winning run as a teenager to carrying France on successive tournament nights, Mbappe's portfolio reads like a director's cut of Clutch. He scores the kind of goals that change narratives. Late equalizers, extra-time sprints, penalty ice-coldness under stadium lights. That big match resume is the kind of thing the highlight reels and eventual history books can't ignore. So when fans argue who deserves more recognition, it's not just about who's better. It's about what you prize. Do you worship the spreadsheet, goals per 90, conversion rates, expected goals? Or do you value the moments that make nations stop and replay a clip until the audio glitches? Haaland is the spreadsheet's idol. Mbappe is the rerun you show your kids. Let me get personal for a second. Sometimes, watching Mbappe in a final or a knockout night, I feel like legacy should favor him. There's something about clutch monuments, World Cup nights, Champions League stage-setting goals that tip the scales in the heart even when the head prefers the numbers. I felt Mbappe deserved certain laurels more than others because those nights are what legends are stitched from. That's emotion, but it's honest. Yet I can't ignore the ruthlessness of Haaland's numbers. They demand respect on their own cold terms. If you force me to lean, I'll edge slightly toward Mbappe. Not because Haaland isn't a freak of nature, but because legacy is more than metrics for me. It's the memory of a kid taking over a final, a nation erupting, those freeze-frame moments that live forever in repeat. But that lean is slim. In pure statistical brutality, goals per game, conversion, seasonal output, Haaland is the easier pick. Both are indispensable to the modern story of football. Here's the best bit. This rivalry isn't a battle for place one. It's the shaping of what greatness will mean after the Messi-Ronaldo era. One gives you a repeatable model of elite finishing. The other hands you indelible theatrical finals and tournament nights. Both will be taught, debated, memed, and immortalized. Both are legends in their respective elements. Both deserve louder applause, and both deserve the sleepless nights of analysts trying to pick who's better. So, final thought. Messi and Ronaldo remain the untouchable peak. But for second place on the emotional scoreboard of modern football, and for the rivalry that's quietly becoming the most compelling of this generation, Mbappé versus Haaland is already the headline. I slightly prefer Mbappé for the theater of his moments, but the margin is a hair. Drop a comment. Which side are you on? Haaland's spreadsheet supremacy or Mbappé's big stage magic? And if you want more of these fast, furious debates with stat cards and highlight cues, subscribe to Soccer Sups. We'll keep the arguments sharp and the clips